too scared.
Today we explore the most unusual Gulf country. This is the country without any skyscraper.
There are no skyscrapers and other pompous buildings.
The desert country with heaven-like oases. The Gulf country where there are unusually many locals instead of migrants.
Here it is different. Really, locals are everywhere.
Today we are in Oman. If you have ever been to the United Arab Emirates or Qatar, you may have noticed that it is so hard to recognize locals there because there are too many tourists and immigrants. But in Oman, everything is different.
Notice in Oman is a large number of locals everywhere. Not like in the United Arab Emirates or Qatar, where you can meet only tourists and migrants, and you cannot understand there where the locals are. Here it is different. Really, locals are everywhere, which is so nice.
You can meet them not only in a mall or driving a car, as it's usually the case in the United Arab Emirates or Qatar, but in Oman, citizens also work behind the counter of a store, on the farm, or as just bus drivers. Omanis are everywhere in the country. You can easily distinguish them from tourists just by their outfit.
In Oman, people still wear traditional clothes, and this is so great because it creates a special environment in the country and makes it more authentic.
I especially like how local men dress in Oman.
Many men usually wear long white dresses called didasha, and women wear black abayas. And here it's very easy to distinguish the citizens from migrants and tourists by these traditional outfits.
And if in many countries a national dress is some kind of a dying tradition, this tradition lives and is being protected here. Omanis teach their children to wear traditional clothes from early childhood. Look how cute they are!
To tell you the truth, I like the architecture of Muscat because here there are many beautiful small white houses in a traditional style.
And it's not just like that. For you to understand, there is a whole ministry that monitors the color of houses.
And the reason why the houses are in white, it's from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning to have light colors due to the heat here in the country. White colors and also beige colors. No one is allowed to have a dark color. You know, like we don't have black houses. Dark blue, dark brown, no.
And it's true. I've never seen a dark colored house anywhere in Oman. Everything is bright, and yet there are unusually low buildings here.
People here do not chase for big scales like in Dubai, where there are a lot of skyscrapers and tall buildings. Here it's really different, and I really like that.
Our friend from Oman, Abdul Majid, said that it is impossible to construct buildings here higher than 14 floors, and no building should exceed the height of
Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque, the minarets, which is 91 meters.
Of course, this mosque is the main attraction of Oman, but visiting it is not as easy as it may seem.
It turned out that it is so difficult to get inside it, and we managed to visit it from the third attempt because the first day we came it was too late. The next day it was Friday and no tourist was allowed inside the mosque. And finally, from the third attempt we could visit it.
The mosque is interesting, but the personality of the Sultan is even more interesting.
This person ruled the country for 49 years and managed to turn it from a poor desert region into a prosperous state. Sultan Qaboos created education and healthcare system from scratch, built first-class roads across the country, and under his leadership, many businesses and enterprises were organized.
Of course, this was achieved primarily thanks to oil. All revenues entirely belong to the Sultan.
He died in 2020, but Omani still love and remember him. It seems to me that Oman was very lucky with the leader like Singapore with Lee Kuan Yew and Emirates with Sheikh Zayed.
In general, the citizens of Oman have many reasons to love their country because the government helps them a lot.
We believe that the government gives us almost everything. We have a free education system here from the first grade till the 12th grade. After the 12th grade, if the government will give us a free external scholarship to study abroad.
According to Abdul Majid, the government of Oman not only pays for education, but also for accommodation and scholarship. Moreover, young people can choose any university.
So they can choose, for example, Oxford, Harvard, Michigan, Nebraska.
And here I have a question for you. Is your state ready to allocate hundreds of thousands of dollars to you for education in the world's top universities? Please write in the comments.
We have a free healthcare system and everything will be covered. Medicine, surgeries, So this is
About dental.
Dental also.
The government even provides young citizens with free land where they build their own houses.
Whenever we receive it, we would build the house by ourselves.
Omani citizens live in private houses, which they built on land received from the state. There is little land near big cities, and many get plots almost in the middle of the desert.
And now I'd like to show you a standard village with private houses where Omani people live. When you travel around the country, you can see this kind of villages everywhere along the road. And usually they lack infrastructure. For instance, in this village, I can see only a mosque, and maybe somewhere there is also a small shop. And that is it. No restaurants, no cafes, no malls, no even fuel stations.
Therefore, it is so inconvenient to live in such places. In order to have some fun or buy anything, people have to drive a car to the nearest town all the time.
But this is how Omani people live. I guess a similar situation is in the USA. It seems that people here spend a lot of their time in a car. Without it, you cannot simply survive here. And the first big investment of young people in Oman is a car.
Because of this lifestyle, the country provides convenient infrastructure only for cars. It's impossible to travel here without a car.
Muscat is the city for car drivers, not for pedestrians. They constructed huge highways inside the city, and in many places there are no convenient crosswalks, and people have to climb up a ladder and cross the road through the bridge, which is very inconvenient.
I was without a car for the first 2 days in Muscat, and it was a torture. For some attractions, I had to walk several kilometers from bus stops. Therefore, if you don't have a driving license or don't want to rent a car, then
you have only two options for public transport: a bus and taxi. Locals here travel by their own cars, and buses are used only by migrants and by tourists. So, the public transport organized here as inconvenient as it is possible. There are huge distances between bus stops. Buses rarely run, and the routes don't cover the whole city, only some main streets.
When I went outside Muscat, I rented a car. The main places worth visiting in Oman are not in the capital.
This is the city of Sur. There are mainly white buildings with some decorative elements. I think that here there is also kind of design code for colors. And this is so beautiful because you can feel the environment of the city.
Thanks to these white houses, Sur is like a smaller Muscat, and it also has inconvenient streets for pedestrians.
And like in many other Omani cities, it's very difficult to cross the road here.
Here, I'd also like to tell you about some funny features of the country.
In this street, there are 5 barber shops in a row. And in general, in Oman, there are barber shops for men, not for women. Maybe because women here cover their hair.
But I was even more amused by the fact that there is a huge number of coffee shops in Oman where it's impossible to buy coffee.
In Oman, you will find many different coffee shops, but in fact, they do not serve coffee. These are usually small restaurants with Indian food.
Just for fun, I visited one of these coffee shops and asked for coffee.
So this is coffee shop.
This is
And do you have coffee?
coffee.
You have coffee?
No coffee, no.
No coffee.
No coffee.
Only tea.
Ah.
But this is coffee shop and you don't have coffee. Interesting. Okay. Shukran.
Oman is a Muslim country where people pray as required by Islam. When we were on the embankment, there was a group of Omani children in national costume sitting there. And when the call to prayer sounded, they immediately went to the mosque.
Now it's time for praying, and as you can see in the streets there are no people at all. So I think they are praying, or most of them, at least the locals. I mean, at least the citizens of Omani.
In Sur, we happened to visit a kind of festival.
So, as far as I understood, this festival is devoted to shipbuilding in Sur. And an interesting detail that I noticed is that men keep together and women keep together separately.
The second most important city in Oman is Nizwa, because here you can see traditional houses. But now the city seemed empty to me.
Well, obviously here some of the houses are abandoned because they are destroyed, but in some houses people still live, but I cannot see anyone. There are no people here.
But I managed to meet an Omani on the street who explained where people were.
So people don't live here anymore.
There some family still live here. Yes, but they are less than before
Why?
because it's getting old. This
People prefer living in modern houses than traditional.
yeah,
Why?
because it is easy to live.
The Omanis used to build houses out of clay bricks, and after every rain it was seriously destroyed and had to be repaired. Agree, it's not very convenient. Therefore, now local residents are moving to modern houses, and old houses are abandoned.
They replace the old historical buildings with the new ones and convert them into hotels, restaurants, shops. So maybe soon we will not see any historical, like truly historical buildings here, because they will be all replaced with the modern buildings.
I wanted to see what an old house looked like from inside and was looking for locals. But I only managed to see a hotel in a traditional style.
When we were at the top of one towers in the castle, we saw that there were some goats on the roof. So here they are. They're so cute, right? So it seems that some people here still work in agriculture and to do some farming, like here.
Locals don't live here anymore, but there are many migrants.
We saw that in some houses migrants live from India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, because people usually work there somewhere nearby and just live in these old places. They renovate them or they buy some furniture, so it's like a house, but where not Oman people live, but usually migrants.
In Oman, there are a lot of migrants like in other Gulf countries, but not 90% like in the United Arab Emirates. In fact, less than 50%.
Almost half residents in Oman are migrants from different countries. There are two types of migrants here. The first type, migrants from Asian countries and from poorer Arab countries without proper education and qualifications. These people usually do the hardest work here and receive lower salaries.
Migrants work on construction sites as shop assistants, waiters in cafes and many other places, and also as housekeepers.
Most of the Omani family, they take housemaid from the Philippines, from the Indians, and even some of the Omani family, they have 2 housemaids. 3 house, it depends how many numbers of the kids of the family they have.
Despite the fact that many migrants have been living in Oman for decades, they cannot obtain citizenship. Like, for example, this Syrian guy who has been living in Oman for more than 20 years.
And do you have a Omanian passport?
No,
Why not?
he not give me a tour. He need 600 riyal for, yani try to bring for me. But for Syria, he not give. I know this, yani. Before my friend, he give money, but they not give him passport.
In fact, it's possible to obtain citizenship in Oman, and this is easier than in other Gulf countries.
Just a few migrants can obtain the citizenship of Oman. As many migrants told me, for that you need to be either very rich or you should be a successful businessman and provide jobs to the Omani people, or you should have a well-paid and prestigious job. Simple, hard-working migrants can't become citizens here.
But migrants still come to Oman for a salary that they are not able to get in their countries. Here's how a young Omani explained why they hire migrants instead of locals.
Because Oman needs salary very good. Like you need 500 riyal 1 month. His company need Bangladesh, India like 100 riyal 1 month. It's cheaper. Or Oman expensive.
But do you feel competition from people, from migrants from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh? Do you feel competition that they take your job?
Yeah.
By the way, we met this guy in the first wadi that we visited in Oman. Wadi is a river valley, and here in Oman there are many different beautiful wadis for which tourists come. You can reach the most popular wadis only by car. At the same time, Omanis themselves avoid especially popular wadis because of foreign tourists in small swimming suits.
Actually, here in Oman, we are a Muslim family. We cannot go anywhere, just specific places for our family, and we go private places. And also, we can come here, but here is sometimes it's not good, sometimes it's good. Yeah.
Women wearing bikinis,
Yes.
you don't want to
Yeah,
see
here
this.
is not allowed in our religion.
So, if you plan to visit wadis and swim here, please respect their traditions and dress up modestly so that people here would also feel comfortable.
But I like the more hard to reach wadis, where I had to walk several kilometers in the heat.
For a peaceful wadi, I would recommend you Wadi TV, because during the whole route, we haven't met a single tourist here. And look, this is just amazingly beautiful.
On the way, we passed villages where migrants also work.
People still live here, Omanians and also migrants from Philippines, India and Bangladesh. I guess they work here for Omanians, so maybe they have their own business. So the houses here look very modern, and there is electricity, people have air conditioners and everything they need for their lives. But these villages are a little bit far from city centers. So people here work in agriculture, and we've seen many donkeys, sheep, goats and other domesticated animals.
In general, I was surprised how many goats there are in Oman. Just look at how they surround tourists near one of the wadis. Everyone feeds them and they behave brazenly, like monkeys in India. And in the mountains, I saw the most affectionate goats I've ever met. They weren't afraid of strangers at all.
Even goats are friendly in Oman. Look. Well, I have a small present for the goats, which is dates. Actually tastes very good. Okay, goat. Oh. Nom nom nom. Oh, you only want dates from me, right? This is not real friendship, you know?
The goats, of course, are very nice, but an unpleasant incident happened to us in the mountains. We almost ran out of fuel. And there I realized that the Omanis are sympathetic and kind people because this man agreed to help us.
What happened last week?
It was a snow here in the mountain, and it was surprising about we have 3 degrees minus here in the mountain, and that was first time what we have like that. So today it's warm, but last week it was very nice temperature.
And what happened to people who came here and without...
Sliding the car, accident, and you know, our land is sliding land here. It's not something easy for the cars to drive here. That's why it was what we have here, like something like that.
Oman is almost the poorest country of the Persian Gulf.
Despite the fact that Oman became rich because of oil, there are not so many oil reserves left here. In the United Arab Emirates, for example, oil reserves are 18 times larger. And if we count oil reserves per capita, Oman is almost the poorest country in the Persian Gulf.
Taking into account the current level of oil production, Oman has only 11 years left, so they're trying very hard to diversify the economy. For this, they even launched the Vision 2014 Economic Restructuring Program.
Oman 2040 vision aims to diversify the economy, which means we will rely on the non-oil sectors, which are tourism and hospitality, logistic services, agriculture, airlines, and so on.
It's unclear whether they will succeed because the country is entirely dependent on oil and there are almost no other developed sectors. A large percentage of young people cannot find a job by profession.
Most people in Oman work in the public sector, and when it grew, it was very easy to find a job there. But not anymore because the government cannot endlessly expand the state apparatus and create new jobs.
Also, locals face competition from expat foreigners, who often have better education and more suitable experience.
They receive good salaries here, and we've seen many expats from Europe and the USA.
Another feature of Oman that makes it different from other Gulf countries is working local women. If in the West it's considered normal that women work, in Arab countries women usually stay at home and take care of children, but not in Oman.
Women are so powerful nowadays. They work even harder than men sometimes. And they work hard, they even sometimes have 2 jobs. Let them work for more than 10 years without being associated with someone, you know, to be more independent than just work for a few years and then get married.
Despite the fact that Western influence is noticeable in Oman, Asian traditions are preserved here. For example, Omanis gather at home with their relatives almost every week. In general, after talking with Omanis, I realized that a family for them is the most important thing in life.
We are family oriented, you know. We're more into getting along with our families, our parents, with our nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers. Should meet every Friday, you know, because Friday for us is a holy day. And the term Friday in Arabic means gathering.
Okay guys, I really had a great experience in Oman because people here are mostly so friendly. I think that in Oman I've met the most welcoming people in the Gulf countries. I was also very impressed with the wadis here, and I think that everyone should visit them if you come to this country. So, you're watching Regina Khair. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell and write a comment. See you in the next video.